Okay, so Elon Musk is calling these stay-at-home orders fascist. I find this kind of funny. It's a rich guy complaining about something that he's not really affected by, yet wants to pretend that it affects him so he can look like he cares about the little people. I mean, if he cared a whole lot more, he would be helping people in need, like hoping either create ventilators or help people get ventilators or something, or help with donating money to food banks or something that would actually help the common people instead of just putting on a fancy suit and calling things fascist.
Welcome back. The clash of the tech titans, Tesla CEO Elon Musk and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, taking opposite sides on the stay-at-home orders during their respective earnings calls yesterday. Musk telling investors the orders hinder people's freedom. Listen.
If somebody wants to stay in their house, that's great. They should be allowed to stay in their house, and they should not be compelled to leave. But to say that they cannot leave their house and they will be arrested if they do, this is fascist. This is not democratic. This is not freedom. Give people back their goddamn freedom.
How's it all of a sudden that like nobody has their freedom now that there's a stay-at-home order to keep people from spreading a virus that's causing other people to die? Where was all this fascism when black people were being killed left and right by cops, and people like Fox and Elon Musk wasn't actually saying anything about it being fascist, and that these people's freedoms were being taken away? It's only when people like him, white, well-off, wealthy people that end up getting affected by something that they want to pretend to be for, helping people. Like he wants to pretend to be for people's freedoms and claiming that this lockdown is fascist. Except, when, people are being jailed for being homeless, nothing. People are being killed for being black, nothing. People are being arrested for having plants, guy says nothing, because none of that affected him. But now that he's affected, he wants to be a working class hero.
Zuckerberg, on the other hand, is urging caution, saying, quote, "I worry that reopening certain places too quickly before infection rates have been reduced to very minimal levels will almost guarantee future outbreaks and worse, longer-term health and economic outcomes." Dagan McDowell, your reaction?
Okay, Zuckerbot is right about this. A state close to me, Georgia, is reopening, or they already have, and they still had increasing cases of COVID infections. So what's going to happen is everybody thinks everything's fine, so they're going to go out and spread that everywhere. And I actually don't live too far from Georgia. I live in Tennessee, and Tennessee was a big hot spot. And so Tennessee's opening up as well, so all those people are going to start spreading that around. And it's going to end up costing a whole lot more money to help everybody out, and it's going to be worse on the economy if everybody, spreads this very deadly virus around, causing a lot of people to die. We got the supply lines are starting to show some to be affected. Like there's meat packing plants and stuff that are shutting down, even though Trump had ordered them to keep open. They had large cases of infections. One meat packing plant for that county, for the place they were in, the 800 cases of COVID came from that place, Tyson, if I remember correctly. The Spanish flu, America and many other nations ignored what was happening, and what ended up happening was millions of people died because the government and rich people wanted to ignore what was going on so they can keep making money and keep with their war, and that ended up causing an extremely bad economic outcome because when you have a bunch of people dying, there's going to be less people to be able to work or pay taxes and so on, and the society just goes down a little bit.
Reaction to Musk's comments, fascism is the word he used.
Well, look at Mayor de Blasio talking about rounding up Jewish mourners in New York City. That's what people are upset about. And these restrictions and basically just throwing the Constitution out of the window, we see this far and wide.
Okay, wow, that's funny. Now they want to bring up the Constitution. Fox News, or Fox, the same people that is okay with Trump ignoring the Constitution whenever he was, now wants people to follow the Constitution because Fox people are losing out on money. Probably. I know pretty much all businesses are being affected by this. So they're probably noticing a slump in money. So now they want to pretend to be for the Constitution and the law of the land and stuff. When months ago they were fighting for Trump to be able to do whatever he wants whenever he wanted because he's the president.
Why there's a pile of lawsuits over the coronavirus lockdown measures because much of what these local officials and governors have done is draconian. And Americans understand their freedoms, and when they are restricted, they get mad. So good for Elon Musk for saying this. By the way, Mark Zuckerberg's business benefits when people are locked inside of their houses. That he's going to be kumbaya, everybody come together. Facebook is going to lead the way. Elon Musk is like, get out on the road in my car. Like, I know that. So everybody.
Okay, so she's saying Zuckerberg wants the lockdown order to stay longer because more people are going to be on Facebook. And then Elon Musk wants the lockdown to end so that people will be using his products. So if you look at it, you can say neither side truly cares about people's freedoms or safety. They just want more money. And I mean, I could see that about Elon Musk. Why somebody like him truly wouldn't care about the poor people, because if they did, they could have easily done something to help increase people's freedoms, and not only when it looks to make it not only do it when it makes them look good, because Elon Musk is doing this to make himself look good.
He has a financial interest, but again, because much of what has happened in this country is draconian and is an overreach, and the more the government continues to intervene, the worse the recovery is going to be.
Yeah, you know.
Wait, no, the more the government helps all this, the worse recovery is going to be. Doing nothing is going to make recovery worse, and expecting rich people to help when obviously they're not going to help because very few, basically no rich person has actually helped with anything like either food donations, PPE, or cash donations to anybody. They haven't done anything to help. So how is the citizens of the United States supposed to get help if they don't look towards the federal government if nobody else is looking to help?
You know, Kelly Torrance, wait until people start understanding what tracking and tracing means. Okay, we'll see if they're getting upset about that, to see if you have the coronavirus, if you had the coronavirus. That's called tracking and tracing, and you're hearing a lot of conversation about that in government these days.
Tracking and tracing. Now for some, okay. now they're thinking the government is going to be tracking and oh, okay, well, maybe if they need to find out where the coronavirus is started from in an area or something, but they're trying to act like this is going to be some kind of giant Big Brother program where they're gonna forever track you. Um, but again, the United States already has similar types of programs, and these people don't care whatsoever. I wonder how many times have they been against um the what was it, the NDAA, where it allowed the government to indefinitely detain people. If these people really cared about people's freedoms and stuff, they would have been constantly on the side of the little people, um, and actually, you know, do things to show support, and not only to make them look good, because it's all a PR stunt where they pretend to be for people's freedoms and stuff, while on the speaking out the other side of their mouth, uh, being all about the rich people and big business.
You are, Maria, and I don't think people realize that they want to they want you to download apps onto your phone that will basically track you. I have to say, the people that have been doing a lot of these draconian measures, they don't seem to have a lot of empathy for the millions of Americans who have lost their jobs. I watch Andrew Cuomo every day, and a reporter asked him about those people, and he said, well, they can just get a new job as an essential worker. I mean, it's just unbelievable that he thinks he can keep the city and the state shut down, and it's not going to have a really bad effect on people. But of course,
okay, I'm gonna say this again. Okay, we all know New York City has an extremely high infection cases, the most in America, the most death. So these people, instead of wanting to not die, they want New York to open up and, have, instead of 40,000 people dying in New York City, they want 100,000 people to die, because they want to scream oppression when these people have no idea what oppression is. Talk to me about oppression when it is illegal for you to be walking around while white, and not just during a pandemic, but any time of your life. If because black people are afraid to walk around because black people can get killed for being black. A person like her, she has a bunch of white privilege, just like those people in Michigan and stuff that are that walked around with guns and stuff, screaming about not getting haircuts. That's true white privilege, because if black people had done the same thing, there would have been riot cops shooting them.
of course, those making these kinds of rules are not the people that they're hurting. It's easy for government officials, for someone like Mark Zuckerberg, who's doing perfectly fine, to tell people that they shouldn't be going out, we should not reopen the economy at all, when they're not the ones who have lost their jobs and are struggling to feed their families, Maria.
But it's also easy to say that we need to reopen the state when you're also not affected by it. When you're not one of the people who has either gotten really sick or had a family member that died, or one of the actual frontline workers that are risking their lives to help keep the economy running. Let's actually get word from these people. And if we really wanted to help these people, you would be advocating for better social systems, better medical help, and more PPE for these people, instead of screaming and crying about not being able to go outside. I'm I don't I don't like I didn't like Tennessee being shut down, but I stayed inside because there's a lot of people that could get sick.
Well, that's right. And this morning, in about 2 hours, we will get another look at how many people have applied for unemployment benefits, frankly. Kelly, we're going to get those numbers already. We know 26 million people have applied for unemployment benefits just in the last 5 weeks. So, Ryan, do you see this as more of an issue of values or how each company is run, the difference in terms of what we're hearing from these two?
Yeah, well, first,
It's the companies. These companies, especially companies like Amazon and McDonald's, all these really big companies, they can easily pay insurance and pay whatever they need to help their employees, the ones that are still working and the ones that have been laid off. Um, they have the money, and a lot of these big businesses pay no taxes. Like Amazon, due to the lockdown, Jeff Bezos has made like $28 million. He could easily put that money back into the employees, give them better working conditions, and various other things. But does he do that? No, he does not. He just hoards it. And now there's protests against Jeff Bezos for unsafe working conditions and the amount of people that have died, especially over the coronavirus and stuff.
first off, I love Musk's brashness, right? We need more of that here in America, just saying what you think and saying it out loud. But I think it speaks to the fact that we need to do this in stages. Companies that obviously you can't build a Tesla at home last time I checked. So I think, companies that need to have people on the floor working, put those social distancing measures in place. And then companies like Facebook and even my firm, we're working remotely with no problem. I'm going to be a late adopter to bringing my staff back to our offices just because, there's not a necessity to do that. So I think this.
Also, most businesses can't really do social distancing. So the idea of, hey, let's open these businesses and just have them social distance, it's not really going to work out because most cannot. And most won't really be able to afford. Well, when I say most businesses, I'm meaning more so like small businesses. Big businesses, yeah, they can, businesses that can social distance, like McDonald's, their lobby wouldn't be able to social distance. Buffet places, various restaurants and stuff, they really won't be able to social distance. And so what? Oh, I don't, because the plan of reopening is basically let's reopen states, and then see if infection cases raises, and if it rises, well, whoopsie on us. We should have not reopened states. It doesn't make any sense. The fact that the fact that everything's going to be reopening is it's going to be it's one of the worst case scenarios in my opinion. The United States is already dealing with a system that can't handle a lot of health problems, and now it's just going to get worse.